Jason Rzucidlo reporting for AmericaJR.com, being joined by HLN television host and author Jane Velez-Mitchell. How are you today?
I'm doing great, and I'm so excited. My book, Addict Nation, An Intervention for America, is out, and I think it's a book every American needs to read.
Okay. Now, can you tell me a little bit about how you got started as a journalist?
Well, I majored in journalism at New York University and did stints in all sorts of places around the country, Florida, Minneapolis, Philadelphia, New York, Los Angeles, and now I'm working at CNN Headline News. It's now called HLN, and I have a show called Issues that airs at 7 p.m. Eastern on HLN, right before Nancy Grace, and I've just written this book, Addict Nation, An Intervention for America, which really goes into how we're all addicted to a lot of very, very self-destructive stuff, and it's not making us any happier. It's making us miserable. We shop too much. We eat too much. We pop too many prescription pills. We watch too much violence on television. We spend too much time on the Internet, and we need to address it as a culture because it's taking us down.
Okay. And now, why did you decide to name the book Addict Nation?
Because I believe that we're become an addict nation. Every day we're bombarded with thousands and thousands of ads telling us that we're not going to be a complete human being, we're not going to be fulfilled, we're not going to be happy unless we buy this, buy that. And this is a consumer culture. And, you know, we're citizens. We're more than consumers. To reduce us just to the level of consumers is really to enslave us. And we have to, as consumers, use our power, which is the power to say, no, I will not buy that. And if we flex that power, we're going to get healthier, we're going to lose weight, we're going to have a lot more discretionary income, and we're going to really tell the powers that be that are getting rich off of these terrible, terrible products, no, we're not going to buy it anymore. You better change. I'll use the example of fast food. Every day, 1 out of every 4 Americans eats fast food. Even though the obesity crisis has been created by fast food, if you see the rise of obesity, it parallels perfectly the rise of fast food outlets around the country over the last several decades. So what I tell people is the way to regain your power in this situation and lose weight is to say, I will not eat fast food, period. I will not go into a fast food outlet, not even go to the bathroom. Just the way I say no, I do not drink alcohol and I avoid bars. So just for today, say no to fast food. You know, 1 out of every 4 Americans every day eats fast food. Even though there's been so many articles, so many movies, Supersize Me, Fast Food Nation, the list goes on and on, that document just how bad it is for you and how it's addictive, and they can negotiate with it, and they can go in there and eat moderately. And it's just something that we need to wake up to, is that addiction is precisely the inability to do something in moderation.
Okay. Now, do you think this applies to people from other countries as well?
Well, unfortunately, the all-American diet and the all-American lifestyle is being exported around the country. So now in Japan, for the first time, you see kids who are obese and have acne. Yeah, people are picking up on our bad habits. So we have to stop it here, and maybe it won't spread around the world, because the earth cannot sustain this lifestyle. 1 child in the United States is equivalent to having 40 children in a third world country, because we use so many resources. You know, we're 5% of the world's population. We use how many more times of the Earth's resources? Something like 30%. So it's really something we have to look at.
Okay. How is this book different from your first 2 books?
Well, my first book was called Secrets Can Be Murder, and it talked about how toxic secrets can lead to murder. My second book was called I Want, and it was an autobiography of how I got sober and how I went vegan, which means I don't eat any meat or dairy products. So I've given up a lot over the course of my life. I've given up not only alcohol and drugs, smoking, meat, dairy, and sugar. And guess what? I'm very happy, happier than I've ever been. And there's plenty for me to eat. There's plenty for me to do. I have a great time. I enjoy myself. I'm much happier than I was when I was enslaved by all those substances. And I say to people, read Addict Nation, An Intervention for America. If you feel that you are compelled to do things that you know are ultimately not in your self-interest, and you say to yourself, I'm not going to do it, whether it's shopping, whether it's eating, whether it's popping a pill, whether it's watching porn, whether it's playing video games all day, whatever it is, read Addict Nation, because I have a blueprint for how you can get out of that self-destructive behavior and be happier than you've ever been before.
Okay. Now, as you said, most of these addictions are coming from commercials. So do you think people should just turn off the TV?
Well, I think that we have to regain our power. Our power as consumers is the power to say no. I can watch an ad now for alcohol. It doesn't mean I'm going to go out and drink. I regain my power because I know I have the only power that an addict has is the power to stay away from the substance that they are powerless over. And first, you have to surrender to being powerless. First, you have to have a moment of clarity and say, you know what, I cannot do this, whatever it is, X, Y, Z, fast food or shopping. I cannot do it successfully. I cannot negotiate with it. I cannot manage it. I cannot do it in moderation. I'm going to stay away from it. And once you do that, you gain strength. You gain the strength to know that you have power to say no. And over time, that strength work a program of sobriety, that strength and that confidence gets greater. And now, for example, I don't think about having alcohol. I can have horrible problems, and the idea of having a drink over them doesn't even occur to me. So I don't think it's about staying away from the commercials. It's about really confronting yourself and realizing those commercials are sending me a message that is not really in tune with what I want. Nothing. Happiness is an inside job. There's nothing you're going to be able to buy that is going to make you happy. That's the ultimate false premise.
Okay. How difficult was it for you to overcome your own personal addictions?
It was very difficult. I struggled for many, many years. I was a functioning alcoholic, and I thought I had it under control, just like Charlie Sheen thinks he has it under control. I wasn't at his level, but I was pretty bad. I embarrassed myself. I blacked out, and thank God I finally hit bottom. And hopefully in April I'll be 60 years sober. God willing, one day at a time I make it to April, and it's been a wonderful, wonderful experience. The best thing that ever happened to me, along with going vegan, which was giving up meat and dairy products and giving up sugar and giving up smoking. All of those things really weighed me down and made me unhappy. And now I feel happy, joyous, and free that I don't have to live under the command of those addictions. And with that, I have to run. I have another hit to go to, but it was a pleasure chatting with you. And thank you for letting your listeners and viewers know about my book, Addict Nation, An Intervention for America, which is available on Amazon and in bookstores.
Okay.
Thanks. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Copyright 2011, AmericaJR.com, Detroit, Michigan, USA.